Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today in the Million Stars of Self Empowerment series. And I hope everybody's doing better than they were the last time listening to the podcast, A Million Stars to Self Empowerment. It is, again, a book which is a series. And we're still discussing volume one of that series. It is on Amazon. We are on A Million Stars of Self-Empowerment. I'm sorry, A Million Stars of Self-Empowerment. A Million Stars to Self-Empowerment on YouTube. Facebook also. Visit us there at A Million Stars to Self-Empowerment. I am the author of the book, Abdul Fattah Muhammad, and your host with this podcast. As usual, I want to open up with a paragraph or some paragraphs of the volume one. We are still in the introductory period. We have discussed the history of the book as well as the author's biography as it is. It is a universal message from one pure heart to another again, and we hope that the message continues to grow all throughout the world and benefit all throughout the world as well, in one way, shape, or form, sooner or later. Today I'm going to start with the paragraph mentioning personal empowerment begins with self-awareness and independence. Personal development has several components. Traits, which include personal and interpersonal resources, are essential to succeed in any industry. Expertise and ideas, which have generated over the period of our lives. As our lives leaves one phase and enter into another, so do our goals and objectives. We as human beings are acclimated to the ways of ourselves and the understandings of each other. We all can relate to the fact that there are many routes to reach our goals in life. People have found different ways to generate resources, habits, and personalities. These abilities have contributed to the achievement of long and short-term success. And I will comment on this, or I should say, I will comment on this section at this time. In terms of personal empowerment, and that certainly cannot be done without personal and self-awareness as well as independence. There has to be some form or mechanism. There has to be some idea of becoming independent and hopefully interdependent. There are, different things that are going on in terms of personal development. Uh, Things that may be considered, excuse me, as habits, and other things that can be considered as uh, resources or abilities. These are all various things in which, or we should say, these are uh, uh, resources which will help us succeed, and expertise and ideas which over the period of time, experiences that we had and ideas that we have. I mean, how many of us have had expertise and experiences, or how many of us have had, certain skill sets that we were once good at, whether it was, sports, or whether it was, from the academic area, or no matter where that was or how it was heading, we have all had something, some type of skill set or some kind of a talent which we were really good at, and we either worked on it and made it better and still possess it until today. Have we actually put that to use? Have we made it so that it has somehow benefited us in so many different forms, in terms of, from a physical aspect, if it was something of sport nature, did it keep us in shape, and did it strengthen us to be able to do certain things that we would not have been able to do. Of course, there's always that in us. There's always something that can be described which has been a strength, or that has been a dynamic aspect of our lives, and we either took advantage of it or we probably set it aside and just kind of let it go away and let it fade away. So that's practically what we want to make sure we pass on to our inner selves, and hopefully that will extend to everybody else who is around us. And when we talk about abilities, they always contribute. I mean, I don't know of anyone who has gone on the path of success and not used some type of abilities to the to obtain success. Many individuals struggle in determining what exactly it means to obtain their goals in life. And that's a big thing. A lot of times people, are not sure what their goals in life really are, and that needs to be clarified for them. I think one of the very important aspects of a person's life is being able to see and say, this is what will make me a success, or this is what it is that I'm going for in life. This is my purpose in life. What makes the process of success easy for some while challenging for others? Well, that again is that people have identified what it is that they want it to be. I mean, if you take a lot of our American presidents, at some stage or the other, much earlier in so many cases, they started building up that power force within their immediate surroundings as far as becoming an American president. I mean, it happens all the time. Whether we are getting ready to graduate somewhere in middle school or high school or university, or for the master's degree or doctorate, or no matter what it is, I mean, we had to have that vision set up early in life that this is what it is that I want it to be. Now, those who don't usually are in a category of, okay, I'm still soul searching. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm heading to. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to be successful. I just haven't figured it out yet. I can't define what my success is. I still don't know, and that's really what makes a huge difference. One who says, I'm gonna go straight to the supermarket, as opposed to one who says, well, I'm not sure. I'm just still, I may go to the different gas stations and figure out what it is that they have that, the supermarket does not have. And then I may, somehow just get to the supermarket eventually. And then the one that actually takes a list with them are all different, different categories of people. Everybody has a different vision, but the most visionary one is the one who plans ahead and knows exactly what it is that they're going for, and they don't waste, or they're very organized with their time, and they're very organized with their resources. I mean, that's practically the reason why many people and many organizations are ahead while others still are struggling, because they don't really know what their purpose really is. They haven't figured that out yet. They haven't made a clear vision of what it is that they're going for. Sharing knowledge and personal experiences, I have found the means to give you information that makes sense from my own perspective, uh, or I'm sorry, from my own expertise. The scenarios mentioned in this book I have lived in most cases, yet I am currently experiencing other concepts even as you're holding this volume. I write with the aim of establishing the validity of those experiences, and much of the success is based on how these words will provide a positive contribution in our lives, mine and yours. I think that's very well put. It's actually very direct. In retrospect, also it is self-explanatory, if you may. Um, Practically, the scenarios which are going to be mentioned, or the scenarios which are going to be presented, were personal experiences, and I identified certain components or certain elements, if you may, which have made uh, or created a mindset or personality, which is a star mindset, a star personality. And that's mentioned a lot in the book. Again, the book is a million stars to self-empowerment. And that said, one can clearly or expect, or at least I'm putting it out there. Those terms are, all throughout the book. The information contained in this document has several personal components and resources as mentioned. Ideas and personal thoughts are of some impact to this work, and I have true love and understanding for many of the statements noted here. The impact of this passion makes me live beyond my sensational means and do what no one else has ever done before. Uh, and that's well put, I think. It is something which, can easily be challenged. Like, wait a minute, are you planning on doing something that has never been done before? Are you saying that you're actually doing something which has never been done before? Exactly what is it? Okay, that's how, I'm just looking from the outside in. Uh, However, everybody's different. Everybody's different. I think back in the second or third series of this podcast, I mentioned, somebody asked like, okay, so why is this information being brought out today? I mean, don't we have Plato and Aristotle? Okay, Plato. The okay. Don't we have the earlier pioneers who wrote about self-empowerment? So why should we write about it today? Why did they write about it back then? Did any if we always challenge why we should do something, when will it ever get done? So I'm not saying that I'm going to be the best, or my product or my service is going to be the best there is out there. I'm saying that it will be the best for me. This is going to be something in which I find to be, most valuable to me. And I know that because I lived it. I know that because I experienced it. I know that because I've put it to test, and it has actually worked. Now, if you look at the YouTube and you look at, everything which is mentioned, I emphasize, as the paragraph before it says, mine and yours, that these words will provide a positive contribution in our lives, mine and yours. So uh, I'm hoping and I'm praying and I'm wishful in which uh, the words which you're reading, the words which you're listening to, will provide a positive outcome in mine and yours. But I'm not assuring that, and there's a huge difference between assuring and hoping and everything else. So how is it that somebody can feel a great way about what it is that they're involved in, and say that it's enabling them to become what it is that they've never been done before, and what they have never been done before or has ever been done before? Okay, look at our spouses or our soulmates. I mean, wouldn't it be a valid argument to say that I have the best spouse ever, I have the best soulmate ever, in the way that I'm with them, the way that I make love to them? Nobody else can make love to them. Of course it is. Now, is it fair to say that that individual has to have, the best person, that they have a better person than everybody else in the world? No, it's not. But in their minds, in their hearts, in their lives, it is very justifiably so that they actually have, the best soulmate, the best spouse ever. And what it is that they're doing with their spouse, nobody else can do. That is absolutely correct. Okay, so likewise here, and in so many other cases, look at the competition with business, and how a company would say that we actually have the best product when they know they don't have the best product. It's just that they know they're better. They know their product better than any other product because they built their own product. Likewise, I have my own product, and I'm 100% behind it, and I believe that this is something which has enabled me to be better than I've ever been before, and it is something which has a value which no one else can top for me. That's me, and I want for everybody to kind of look at themselves and say, what assets and what resources do I have in order to produce a service, a product, something in which I can call my own, and nobody else is going to be able to do better for that product of mine for me than the product itself. I have a product. I choose this as my number one product, and everybody has a right to choose what their own product is. And I think that's one thing in which, has confined people to a certain mentality, uh, of counterproductiveness. Let's look at, the reasons why we should not have our own. Let's look at the reasons why we should depend on, other beings or other things in order to survive, in order to get ahead. That's the problem today. People are stuck on, dependency instead of independency. They're stuck on being enslaved instead of being free. Today, I mean, just look at, ourselves and ask ourselves, how much of a dependency or liability are we for someone else as opposed to ourselves? How much is it? And that has passed on from generation to generation. So, look at it that way. And if you can provide some way, shape, or form, through whatever means, necessary in order to get your own, that's what we're talking about here. That's becoming independent, and that's become empowerment, and that's become self-reliant. That's what needs to be done, instead of, depending on some other party or some other things. And it's just too bad that uh, people have that mentality, and 90% of the world population today lives on the basis of depending on others for 90% of their needs. It's unfortunate, but it's reality. And the impact of this passion makes me live beyond my sensational means and do what no one else has ever done before. I've read that. True passion, true passion is the key to ultimate success in whatever a person wants out of life. Finding enthusiasm within you is finding yourself and what you are really about. Be happy with yourself. Be enthused. Be, satisfied with what you have. Be grateful, and be, show gratitude within your means. To what it is that you have been guided to have, or you have been blessed with. Of course, we did not bring ourselves to this world, and we did not show ourselves how to talk and walk and think and all these other things. Like, these things, definitely we were blessed, to have them. And we have to show gratitude for that. And there's, some aspect of, prayer or meditation or deep soul searching and thinking, which, will definitely give more detailed information to that. But hey, let's be realistic here, and let's try to empower ourselves on the basis of, the very little that we have, and expand that to where we're able to get whatever it is, that we want, and whatever it is that we need in order to make better that of ourselves and those loved ones and others around us. So I want to again thank my technical team, Softo Media in particular, and consultants for their assistance and in providing the support that they have provided. Again, a million stars to self-empowerment, which is a universal message for those who seek empowerment through peace and harmony. And do feel free again to visit us on Facebook as well as online, a million stars of empowerment.com. I, Abdul Fattah Muhammad, am the author of the book A Million Stars to Self-Empowerment. I want to again encourage everyone who has had the opportunity to get the book to read it and to share it as much as possible. And at the end of the day, do feel confident and assured that, as I'm saying, I have a million stars to self-empowerment. Repeat that as much as you possibly can, and rest assured that you only need one star to get you through anything and everything in which you are going through, good or bad, either way or another. I hope everybody the best. Until next time, so long, everybody. God bless.